Good morning. It is Saturday morning, and it's time for another edition of Saturday with Seniors, brought to you by FCCB, Tioga County's offices, which are located in Wellsboro, Mansfield, and Blossburg. FCCB is proud to sponsor Saturday with Seniors right here on KC 101. And by the way, you can hear all the previous episodes. If you go to our website, you can get to our YouTube channel through there. You'll find a link at kc101fm.com. First Citizens Community Bank, building better communities for over 150 years. Member FDIC. And our guest today, Lorraine Erway. Hi, Lorraine.
Hello.
And can I ask how old you are?
91.
91 years old, and you just came walking in here on your own and everything.
Oh, yes,
so
definitely.
Your health seems to be doing wonderful. So tell me about your life. Where were you born 91 years ago?
Born in Bayonne, New Jersey. Daughter of 13 children. My father was Carl Loud and Anna Beggs Loud. Mm-hmm. My mother was born in Scotland, and at the age of 9, she came over by herself and lived in New York City. And at the age of 17, she took the call from Paris, France, and put into Washington, D.C., the signing of the armistice.
So you're saying she was 9 years old and she came over on her own?
Yes.
Do you know how that happened? I mean, was she orphaned, or did her parents just say,
her
it?
Her mother died when she was born.
Yeah.
And so her father raised her, grandmother raised her, until she couldn't do it anymore.
Wow. So you were born in New Jersey, and then did you go to school there, or did you? How long were you in New Jersey for?
We moved to Wellsboro in 1938.
1938, you were in elementary school then? Or about to be? Second grade.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of your early memories of Wellsboro. 1938, second. Do you remember you going to school that first day?
Definitely. I had great teachers.
Where did you go to school for your elementary school? So it wasn't just a one-room schoolhouse then? You got a little...
No, Grand Street.
What's there now?
Park Hill Manor.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. Yeah. So that's where you went to school there.
Yes.
And tell me about school. What was it like? What was your day like?
I had some of the greatest teachers you ever know. Enola Corwin was my 5th grade teacher. Helen Hill was the 6th grade teacher. Jean Sheriff was my 2nd grade teacher. But Charlotte Lappa was the 1st grade teacher, but she was special, very special. Of course, the school's named after her now.
Yes, it is. So you got to meet Charlotte Lapla.
Oh, I sure did. She was great.
Yeah, I never met anyone who met her. So she was the principal of the school when you were there?
Yes, she was principal of 1st grade teacher.
That's wonderful. So what were some of the things that you enjoyed doing in school? Did you do sports or anything, extra activities?
Well, grade school we didn't have much, but high school I was in the band and cheerleader. Baton twirler in the band. One year we went all over state corning and all over with the parades under the direction of Nody Johnson.
This is back in the 1940s when you were in high school, I guess that would be if you moved here in 38.
47 and 48 and 49. Graduated in 49.
Now, at this point, you were living not too far out of Wellsboro?
3 miles up Fisher Street.
And you were telling me before we went on the air that did you actually have to plow the street yourself to get out of there?
Oh, yes. We had to walk to school. Yeah.
So there's no bus. You walked 3 miles. Whatever the weather was, you went.
Definitely.
Did they cancel school back then when we had 2 inches of snow like they do now?
No. Matter of fact, Valentine's Day, we had a big snowstorm, and we were plowed in for a month.
For a month?
Yes.
No, you couldn't get in or out for a month. You're just a few miles from town, but it was that remote back then.
Bobsled took our milk cans in on a bobsled.
And you towed them back that way?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So you were was it on a farm that you lived on?
Oh, yes.
What kind of farm was it?
Dairy, chickens, and everything.
And did you sell the product to market, or how did you sell your product?
The milk went to Borden's milk plant.
I guess that's probably where a lot of local farmers' milk would go then. Yeah. And then how about the vegetables that you grew? Did they use locally?
Well, my mother canned 500 quarts of peas one year.
Your mother did 500 cans.
Of course.
I gotta like peas. These numbers are just amazing.
Yeah. Oh, probably 1,500 quarts of all vegetables.
And then would she sell those 500, or did you guys just eat that many as a family?
13 kids. We had to eat them.
you ate a lot of peas.
Yeah.
So what kind of chores did you have as a kid? Was it just like today's kids, no work at all, get up and play some video games, go to school, whatever?
Well, we had a lot of fun playing games for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
The neighborhood all come to my house. Even the kids from town came up weekends.
Yeah.
Played.
Before play, there was work, right, as a kid?
Oh, definitely. We had to weed the garden. All the girls had to milk 2 cows before we go to school in the morning.
That was hand milking, right?
Oh,
Not
yes.
just, okay.
Didn't hand milk.
Yeah. No. So you had to do 2 cows by hand.
Oh, yes.
All this. So what time did you get up? Before the sun rose?
About 6:30.
Yeah, pretty early.
But school back then didn't start till 8:45.
So on the farm where you lived, was there electricity as a kid, or plumbing, or what kind of conveniences did you have?
The house had everything. Bathroom and everything.
That's
before we moved
fancy
here.
for those days.
Yes. Before that, we didn't have bathroom.
So do you remember your first car or your first ride in a car? What kind of car did your parents have when you were a kid? Or one car family, I'm going to assume?
A truck.
One truck family when you were a kid.
Yeah. We rode in the back of a truck once in a while to school if we could.
Back then, some of the other people told me they would just get picked up along the way to school. If someone drove by who saw them, like it wasn't really hitchhiking, but just be like, hey, you need a ride? That was very common to...
Yeah, we pick up the neighbors once in a while.
Do you remember your first car that you got growing up? And when you got your license?
It was a car, but I couldn't tell you why.
Yeah. Did you have your license when you were in high school or wait a while?
I did get licensed in 1961 anyway.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't for a while after until you went and got a license. So what were you doing for work? Did you have a part-time job besides the farm while you were in school?
No.
That was plenty to keep you busy? And did they give you an allowance, your parents, for doing the work?
You don't do that back then.
No, there's no, okay. I thought they might have gave you 10 cents or something.
No, I would be lucky if I had $1 for a week.
So were you able to spend money on anything, or when you were growing up was money pretty tight? Did you get to go to the movies ever? Did you ever get to spend money on extra fun things, or was that...
I think I was 12 years old when I saw the first movie. It was Gene Autry, Happy Trails to You.
Wow, okay. And that was in the Arcadia Theater?
Yes, Saturday afternoon. My father dropped me off after I delivered flowers to one of my school teachers.
Probably cost you about a nickel or a dime then to go, I'm going to guess.
That I don't remember.
The old Nickelodeon days, they were calling them that because it was a nickel.
Yeah.
Wow, so Gene Autry movie, that was about 1950. Tell me about your work. So when you finished high school, did you go to work at that point?
No, we have 5 children, and we figured it was best to stay home and raise them. But I did wedding cakes, specialty cakes.
So let me go backwards. When did you get married?
June 26, 1949.
Okay, so 11 years after you moved to Wellsboro. Ooh, my math's a little slow here. But okay, so you married and then you found your first job after that?
Wedding cakes, yes.
So you're pretty well known for your wedding cakes.
Yeah, I had to give them up.
Yeah.
Transportation.
How many wedding cakes did you do in your life?
Probably 300 or 400.
Now, they weren't just local. You sent your cakes all over.
Yeah, well, 2 went to Rochester, New York. 1 went to Saratoga Springs, 1 to Gettysburg, 1 to Shippensburg, some to Erie, a lot to Mansfield, Williamsport, a lot here in town.
How did you end up sending a cake to Paris, to France?
This lady from Wellsboro, I can't remember her name, but she called and wanted to know if I could do a cake so she could take it to her sister in Paris, France. Just a 9-inch round layer cake.
And it made it all the way across the ocean.
Yes, I got a nice thank you note from her sister.
Before we went on to, you're showing me some very interesting pictures. And if you're not watching this on our YouTube channel, you'll see these pictures on there. So I suggest you also go on and check this out on our YouTube channel, which you can get to through our website. There was a famous talking dog in your family. Tell me about this dog and how he ended up in TV commercials.
Well, he was one of a litter of 5. And he was just a small pup when he came into the house. And, of course, with all the kids, he learned to talk. And he was on TV with Ray Bolger's show several times in New York City.
You said he learned to talk.
He talks. He said, I don't want to. I don't know. And
like in a bark, like, I don't know? Like that kind of?
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah. You could understand him very well.
And this dog could tell the difference between a 1, a 5, and a $10 bill what I was reading.
Yes. Yeah, he could count to 10.
So what year was this that this dog was around?
Probably 45 to 49.
So that was the very early days of TV, and somehow they found out that you had a talking dog, and did the TV people come to Wellsboro to record this, or did you go to them with the dog?
No, my father took him to New York City.
And put him on there. Wow, we're going to be right back here. It's Saturday with Seniors. It's all brought to you by FCCB. And we do this each Saturday morning at 10 a.m. talking with the local senior citizen in our area about what it was like growing up here, what life was like then. So stick around. Today, our guest is Lorraine Erway. She's 91 years old. We'll be talking with her again. We're back at Saturday with Seniors, brought to you by FCCB's Tioga County offices. You're going to find them in Wellsboro, Mansfield, and Blossburg. FCCB, proud to sponsor Saturday with Seniors here on KC 101. First Citizens Community Bank, building better communities for over 150 years. Member FDIC. Our guest today, Lorraine Erway. She's from Wellsboro. She's 91 years old. Grew up most of her life in Wellsboro, all but just a few years of it. And your husband, Bill Erway, is he still with us?
No, he passed away 3 years ago.
He was a baseball coach, is what
Little
I
League
got.
baseball coach and Babe Ruth baseball coach for 15 years. He took the Babe Ruth to the States in 1957 and lost to Morristown, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
The state. game.
When we say Babe Ruth, was before Little League World Series? Is that
No.
the sort of the way?
That would be the 13 and 15-year-olds.
Okay, I didn't play baseball, so these are all new terms to me. But you spent a lot of time at the ball fields.
Definitely. I still do. Still do. I haven't missed a game. I don't think I missed more than 2 games in the last
You
30
still go to
years.
all the games?
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the Wellsboro High School games? Or which games do you go to? Little League games? Try to
Little
catch all the
League
different ones that you can?
Yeah, yeah.
It is a wonderful sport. Did you ever play? Did the girls play Little League back when you were a girl?
Well, we had neighbors and people come from town on Saturday. We all have a baseball game up on our field.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the kids came from town.
So the ball fields back then, where did they play? The same spot they are now, or where were they
No,
then?
it was a great big field that we kept mowed down
So where was the field then?
up behind our house.
Up on Fischler.
Oh, yeah, Fisher Street.
So that's where you would play up there?
Yeah.
So let's say you talked about your cake decorating. Did you have other jobs that you did along the way?
Sewing.
You did a lot of sewing.
Yeah, I do a
still
lot
do?
of the prom gowns for kids. 2 years ago, I had 16 prom gowns. I have 2 alterate.
So you're still sewing to this,
Oh, yes,
to
I
this
am.
day.
I did yesterday.
So tell me about some more of your memories when you were a kid in Wellsboro, going back to the businesses that you went to. Do you remember some of the places that were on Main Street that aren't there anymore? Or do you remember going to Dunham's as a little kid with your parents?
Newberry's, Ben Franklin, Sykes Men's Shop, Notewares, Whitmer's.
You remember some of the old bowling alleys that were in town?
Yes, a bowling alley and a pool hall.
I didn't know there was a pool hall.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, right on
On
Main Street
Pearl
somewhere?
Street.
On Pearl
Pearl
Street.
Street.
Okay, the Pearl Street shops.
Yeah.
Upstairs there was bowling, wasn't there?
No, across right there by
Yeah.
Harlan's restaurant.
There was a pool hall there.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's very interesting. And your house that you grew up in up on Fisher Street, is it still there?
Yes, definitely.
Is there still a farm and gardens around it, or is it a whole? When I look at those old pictures, you said that was my garden. It was 3 acres.
They have built a couple houses up there now, so it's kind of making it smaller.
So how old were you the first time that you took a long trip anywhere, a vacation anywhere? I know you grew up in New Jersey the first few years there, but how long was it before you ever went to the ocean again, or went to Florida, or did you do those things?
When we got married.
For your what, honeymoon?
Yeah.
Where'd you go for your honeymoon?
New York City, Coney Island.
My dad grew up in that area. It was a very nice beach area back. It's
Beautiful.
coming back a little bit, but it was nice then. And they had all the entertainment and the sideshows and all that
Oh,
stuff.
yes, yes.
Well, I appreciate your information. Anything else you want to share with people, or any advice you want to tell people? I mean, you're doing amazing at 91 years old.
Well, I have 5 children. Robert is in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. Kenneth is at home here in Wellsboro. Sharon used to have the cellar door.
Yep.
And her own shop, Sharon's Gifts. Carol works at the bank, and Brenda, our daughter, lost 8 years ago with cancer. And that's it.
And there's your
5
story.
children.
Well, keep on smiling. And so what do you think about the world now compared to when you were younger? Are we in trouble in this world? You've seen a lot of years.
Technology's gotten way too hard for me.
I don't know if it's all good either, some of this technology.
No,
People,
definitely.
when you see 2 people out to dinner and they're both looking at their phone instead of each other, how does that make you feel?
Well, I have that with the grandchildren.
And what do? You swat them when they do that, or do you?
Oh, I take it away from them.
Yeah. How's that go over? They
Not very good.
It's a whole different world, and
Yeah.
I think I want to say unfortunately, I think because I think we've lost a lot of the magic that we used to have.
Yeah.
So, well, again, thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your story. Lorraine Erway, 91 years old, spent most of her life in Wellsboro, and appreciate your information. Have a
you.
great day. We're KC 101. You've been listening to Saturday with Seniors. It's aired each Saturday morning at 10 a.m. We talk to the local senior citizen about growing out of our area. Sponsored by FCCB's Tioga County offices, which you'll find in Wellsboro, Mansfield, and Blossburg. And you can hear this and all prior shows on our YouTube channel, which you can find through our website, kc101fm.com. And safe travels.